Murray from MBM. We're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be in a band program. The reason I'm doing this really is this year, I'm sure you're sick and tired of hearing it's been a terrible year, but normally around about this time in term 4 we're doing our final concerts, we're doing our graduations, we're doing our performances all the time. We're also recruiting for 2021. We're also moving along with parent information nights and things like that. Unfortunately, with these restrictions, we're not able to do that. So this is just another way that we can make contact with you. Watch the video. There are 2 videos in this series. This one about what it's like to be in a band program, and the second one is how to get yourself an instrument. Watch them both. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact us via murraybishopmusic@bigpond.com, our website murraybishopmusic.com.au, or you can pick up the phone number that's on the site and give us a call. We're here to help, and we're trying to make this as easy as we can. So why would you be in a band program? What happens when Junior comes home and has a note that says you want to play? Now normally we go through a process where we demonstrate the instruments and the kids actually come and try a variety of instruments to see which one fits. Then you get the note. Now we can't do that, of course, with infection control and things like that, so it's a little bit of a shortened process this year which may or may not be successful. However, we're going to give it a go, and I encourage you to do the same with your student. We'll try and sort them out. We are flexible, we are working very hard to try and make sure that everyone gets a fair go. But unfortunately, we have restrictions placed upon us. So why be in a band program? What's in it? For me, it's been a lifelong game. I love being in a band program. I love playing. I've played all my life. I've travelled all over the world. I've met people on all over from different parts of the world. It's a common language. It was once described to me as the largest team sport out, and that's correct. Doesn't matter whether there's 2 or 2,000 of you. We can play as musicians. I actually support a band in Uganda. Never met the guys, but I support them, and we play the same music. I've been in America, we do it. It's a universal language. It's terrific. There are many peer-reviewed and documented cases of research of how music can expand your numeracy, literacy, reading skills, how you can gain confidence to talk to people, something that I benefited from for sure. How you can stimulate your creativity, self-discipline, achievement, aerobic fitness. There is an endless list of reasons why playing an instrument and being part of a band program is a positive thing. I'm happy to provide you with those references. There are thousands of them. So what's the negative? The negative one, probably the biggest one, is it takes a commitment. It's a year-long process. You can't just come in and go, I'm going to play the trumpet, and a week later say, that's enough, I'm not going to do it anymore, because you won't get anywhere. You've got to keep going, and it takes about a year before you find your feet. Some people quicker, some people slower, but that's what it's about. It's also at a cost. As much as I and my colleagues would love to provide our services free of charge, because we do love and we're passionate about what we do, we can't. We like to eat. I like to pay my staff, and my staff like to be paid. We have to charge a cost. We try and keep that cost minimal. I'll talk about the cost. There are 3 separate items to consider, but let me tell you, it's worth it. How does it work once you've selected the instrument, once you're set up, ready to go? Probably the key to it all is this book. This book that we use. Now there is a number of band methods available, including this one. This is called Essential Elements. This is an older version, but Essential Elements for Band is the newer version out. This book is one of those initial costs. You will need to buy your own copy so you can write in it, you can work on it. It becomes your reference manual, and they're around about the $20 mark at this point. We can get them, you can order them online, there's no risk, no problem. This is the cornerstone of our program, and depending on what schools you work with, there's about a dozen different band programs. They all follow similar lines. And I'll explain a little bit about this as we go through. So what happens? You've decided to be in the band. Okay, there are 4 stakeholders in this process. One is junior, the student that's involved. They have to be interested, they have to be excited, they have to have fun. We try and provide that. But they also have to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. It is a commitment. And that commitment, it's a great way of talking to them about that commitment, about that expense, and about how you're going to get through it. It's a great learning cycle for them. So they're first. Second is the school, and we're very lucky with our schools. Our schools actually assist us by allowing us to teach during the day, allowing us onto the premises and supporting our programs. It may mean that junior comes out of class for half an hour at a time, but that's fine. They don't lose. They're not going out just to bludge. They're coming into an educational process, and the schools organise that with the teacher to make sure they don't miss anything. The third stakeholder is the provider. Myself, Murray Bishop Music, or whoever's going with. Our job is to provide a quality educational framework, and we work very, very hard to do that. And we make sure that we pay attention to detail. Our teachers are trained, our teachers are supported, your kids are supported. We offer on-site support for repairs, we offer interactions via Zoom and things like that as well. We have a lot of resources that go beyond what we face in the classroom, and we're there to help. The fourth stakeholder is you, the parent. And unfortunately, you get the hard job. You've got to be the one driving the commitment to rehearse. You've got to be the one making it all happen. And often, one of the most common questions I get is from parents saying, I've tried to get Junior to rehearse and practice, he just doesn't do it. We have tools that we can help you, and we can encourage you. We also love to perform for you, and you become that much wanted member of the audience. There's nothing better for your child to see the acclamation of you sitting in the front row. It's wonderful. We put those 4 things together over a period of 12 months. We have someone who is beginning a pathway that can change their life. And I'm really not overselling that at all. It's an incredible journey. This book and any other book assumes no knowledge. And that's a great thing, because when Junior comes home with their instrument and goes to show you and it won't work, it's devastating. And they go, Mum, fix it. And you go, well, I know nothing about it. Turn to your guidebook. Even in the first couple of pages of all methods, there is a setup guide. There is a process of getting the sound, of helping it. There's also usually in the back a chart that'll help you identify notes and numbers and things like that, and what note is this. You don't have to read music, but you can learn alongside your child. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then of course, if it still doesn't work, as I said, contact us. We have ways that we can help, and they're not ways that cost you a lot of money. We work through this book gradually, and the lesson plan basically is a half-hour group tutorial. Now, group tutorial allows us to keep the costs down. Normally, a person having a half-hour private lesson one-on-one is paying anywhere from $35 to $80 a half hour. We try and keep our half-hour lesson around the $15 mark. Your independent school, that's a general figure. Your school will tell you exactly what the individual cost is. It depends on how we collect it, who does what, etc. So that's a ballpark figure. But think $15 a week. That's pretty close. We work in that half-hour time slot. Depending on the school, depending on the restrictions, and depending on how things work, we try and keep like instruments together, or we keep year groups together, or we keep ensembles together, depending on tutoring staff, etc. We work through the book gradually, sequentially, so they're building up a skill set. They then have a band rehearsal. Now that band rehearsal may be before school, maybe at lunchtime, maybe after school, depending on the school. That is then when you have that commitment. If your child is in the band and the band starts at 8 o'clock, they need to be there. That's important. If it's in lunchtime, they need to be there. If it's in school time, they need to be there, but they also need to pick up the run afterwards. Lots of those things are fantastic. The benefits to them are enormous. And I would stand here and I would love to stand here and tell you so much of some of the success stories that I've had of people that I now know as adults. I've been to their weddings, I've been to their 21st, I've seen their kids, I'm now teaching some of their kids. It's an enormously positive thing to be involved in. The cost, well, as I've said, you've got a weekly tuition cost. That's cost number one. That keeps the roof over my head and the food on my staff's table. 2 is the initial setup cost. Now that involves the book and any accessories you may purchase. A lot of people, and we encourage a music stand. We encourage things like maintenance kits and things. Beautiful for Christmas, stocking fillers, things like that. We do all that sort of thing. That's the second cost. The third cost is the cost of the instrument, and that is covered in our separate video, which we'll talk about that in a moment. If we can help you, please contact us. If you have questions, please contact us. If there is something that I have said that doesn't ring right, or something you want to know more about, please contact us. We're not strangers. And one of the things we have found in this world of restrictions and isolation is that we can work together. We can still contact people. At this point, I'll leave you with it. Check out our other video. Think of your question, email us, murraybishopmusic@bigpond.com. Thanks for watching.